Hi guys, Alex Taylor down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to hit your 3-wood better than ever off the floor. Now I've done videos on this in the past a while ago, but we're going to use GC Quad with some stickers on the club face just so we can actually show you some strike positions and see how the strike on the face changes the performance of the shot in such a huge way. Some of it might be to do with setup. Some of it I think will be more down to your understanding of what you're trying to do with 3-wood off the floor. But we're going to be very traditional with how we play the first shot. Look at some data, ball and club. Explain why that doesn't really work, particularly with the modern golf ball. And then show you the little changes you can make, like I said, to hit your 3-wood better than you've ever hit it from the floor in the past. So, most of us struggle with 3-wood, to be fair, and I'll put myself in that category as well. But what we've always been told is that because the ball's on the floor and there's not a lot of loft, we almost need to try and feel that we hit up on the ball a little bit. Now, by doing that, what we'll tend to do is put that ball position more towards the front of our stance, not quite as far forward as we would do with driver, but the theory being that if the bottom of the swing's further back, the club's going to have levelled out, maybe even be tracking up slightly by the time it gets to the golf ball. My little challenge with that is I think it's very hard to hit the ball out the middle of the club face, therefore maximise your kind of launch conditions, launch it up in the air and spin it low by hitting it off that low part of the face. But let's play a shot first of all with that ball position forward and kind of make my normal golf swing. And there it is, kind of very, very low, just not really getting to the peak of its flight. Only launched at 5.6 degrees, only carried 212, had backspin of 3,000, nearly 3,400. But the bigger thing as well there is we look, my path was a tiny bit out to in with the club face touch closed. I did hit down, but only 0.2 degrees, so it was kind of very, very shallow through the bottom. And you can see I've struck the ball very, very low on the face. So the little challenge there is when I'm hitting it 13 millimeters below the centre of gravity certainly, I'm not going to get those ideal launch conditions. So like I said guys, we're going to change a little bit in setup, and maybe the change in setup will change the angle of attack, but also just have that change of mentality with 3-wood. So instead of the ball being quite as far forward, we're going to move the ball just slightly back towards the centre. It's still forward of our low point in our swing as we set up, but because the weight's shifting forward, we still need to feel that we hit down on the golf ball a little bit more, even with only 15 degrees of loft. That can create issues in itself, and that could be that 15 degrees isn't the club for you. You might be better with a 4-wood or a 5-wood off the floor, but this is about 3-wood. So we're going to have the ball position slightly further back. Like I said, that's going to encourage me to hit down a little bit more and to present more the middle of the club face to the golf ball. Might see a slightly lower flight than I would hope for, but I still think if the ball launches higher with less spin, I'm going to hit a higher shot that's going to go further anyway. So this is the challenge. Can I do this with 3-wood? So setup's good, and let's make that swing. And it's such a different shot. So we can see we've gone from launching at 5.6 to 9.9, you know, carried 244, so a massive improvement from 212, and we've gone from 3,400 spin to 2,100. So it's almost like we've turned that 3-wood into a driver. We look, still my swing path has been a little bit from out to in, club face slightly closed. Instead of hitting down 0.2 degrees, I've hit down 2.1. Like I said, I've hit it higher on the club face, so it's launched higher and spun less, which ultimately with modern ball is what gives me that performance. But all in all, I would take that kind of numbers, and particularly the shot that that's given me, all day, every day. Right guys, so like I said, I mean, I've been using the Taylormade M2 3-wood. It's not actually my 3-wood, just because I found my personal 3-wood, I was a little bit more consistent with what I was looking to do. But a lot of guys are using this, and this is coming out as a real leader in our fittings so far. But it's glued, 15 degrees, stiff shaft. Like I said, if you're somebody who's always played the ball quite a long way forward and kind of tried to sweep the ball a little bit with 3-wood or any fairway wood off the floor, and you've generally struggled, let's just change that setup. Move that ball position a little bit more back, get that angle of attack a little bit steeper, and let's try and find the middle of the club face. And I think once you start striking it, then you get a better assumption as to whether the club's right for you or not. The ultimate thing, if you're struggling, is obviously have a lesson, or have some lessons, get fitted, make sure the fairway wood does suit you. But with those couple of little adjustments that you can make, just that simple understanding of how you're going to present the club to the ball, I think you'll see some massively improved results and start having some fun with 3-wood and all the other fairway woods. So guys, as ever, hope you appreciate Okay guys, as ever, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Follow me on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down in the future. Stay in contact.